All right. Shalom. We want to start giving all praises due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. Respect and charity to all you musicians around the four corners of the earth, preaching this gospel of truth. Okay? Preaching this gospel of truth. And this is to the chief musicians. Lord willing, we are the elect of that fold. Okay, today we're going to go over how covering over the, or hiding over the sins of your fellow loved ones or just the close friends. How what happens to ones who try to cover up someone else's sins. Okay, just because maybe they feel like they're close to them or they're their loved ones. But how does the Most High really look at that? And the outcome of what could happen when one do choose to do such a thing. Okay, we're gonna first start with 1 Samuel chapter 1 verse 3. We're gonna be in Samuel for a while, so we're good. So what happens, or how does the Most High look at someone who covers up a homeboy sins or a family member sins, and you know what he did is wrong, and you don't you rebuke him, but you rebuke him with a hand hit like this. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Instead of rebuking him like, yo, don't do that shit. And after the second and third time, you gotta let him go. Because he's playing with the Lord. So, the first scripture is 1 Samuel chapter 1 verse 3. Read that. So on page, we got to say about it. So that's on page.
No, I just yeah.
All right. Start at verse 3.
And this man went up out of the city yearly to worship and to sacrifice unto the Lord of hosts in Shiloh. And two sons of Eli, Hophni and
Phinehas.
The priest of the Lord was there.
Okay, now, this Eli was a priest, a high priest, in the Most High's house. And he had two sons, Hophni and his other son, Phinehas. So now he loved his sons, all right? But his sons, later on down the line, his sons were doing wicked things, okay? So we're going to see what happened to Eli's house and what happened to their whole thing for trying to cover up, or Eli judging partial, because he was supposed to be a priest. The priest of telling his sons what to do, what was right and wrong, but he ignored it, and he rebuked them lightly instead of rebuking them sharply. Okay? You can't, in this thing of ours, you cannot judge partially. Okay? Because that could bring sin onto you, into your house. And sin is a transgression of the law. And that can lead to death. Which, in this case, it led to them death. Okay? Now, go to go to chapter 2, verse 34. Same book, chapter 2, verse 34, y'all.
And this shall be a sign unto thee, that thou shalt come upon thy two sons on Hophni and Phinehas. And one day thou shalt die, both of them.
What? And it says, and this shall be a sign unto thee, that shall come upon the two sons, on Hophni and Phinehas, and in one day they shall die, both of them. Okay? Because what are we talking about? Covering up true judgment. Okay? When you call yourself being a prophet, and I always say this time and time again, especially of those of the circumcision. those who know better, those who diligently call themselves studying the law, but then they turn their eye because this is their homeboy, or this is their sons, or this is their wife, or whoever it is that's committing, breaking a sin against the Most High. You got to rebuke them sharply. Nobody likes rebuking to be punished, but punishment sometimes make you a better man because you learn not to do those things again. And people that's watching you, you'll be a good example for them not to follow in those same paths. But a lot of people don't like punishments or rebuke, and that's why they wind up dead or in prison or in death. Okay? Now let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 22. Chapter 2, verse 22. Chapter 2, verse 22.
Now Eli was very old and heard that all his sons did unto all Israel, and how they lay with the woman that assembled at the door of the tabernacle
Of the tabernacle.
Of the congregation.
Congregation, that's right. Now it says, now Eli was very old and heard all his sons did unto Israel, and how they laid with the women that assembled at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. Now, let's take a look at that. Now, Hophni and Phinehas, right, was Eli's sons. And they were supposed to follow after what their father was doing. Them niggas was humping, excuse my language, because some of y'all are soft-hearted when I say a little bit of foul language. They was having sex with the ladies that was coming to require, because you had lady servants, ministers at that time, and they would come and require, we're helping the priests, okay? And these two guys are supposed to assist the people, okay, or the flock, and they was having sex with the ladies. That they was having sex with them, both of them sons, and taking some of the money off the top that would go to the priest. So they was greedy, would take some of the money off the top too. So they was having sex with the women ministers that was helping, because minister means servant. Okay? And Eli covered it up. He knew what his sons was doing, but he covered it up. Their father covered it up. And a lot of you brothers cover other things up for other brothers. We're not supposed to cover things up for other brothers. Because let's say, for example, if a brother was stealing, and you know he's stealing, but he's stealing you some things too. You ain't gonna complain about that, right? He's stealing you some things too. Things that you need, some good stuff. We're not talking about stupid stuff. Let's say he's stealing stuff that you need, like high-tech equipment. Like let's say you a DJ, and he gets you speakers. You're not gonna say nothing. And you probably take the gift. But when you enter this book and you enter the Lord, you're supposed to say, man, you better stop that stealing. You better stop that, bro. Okay, put it back. I don't want it. But most of the time in this day, somebody will give you a gift and you will turn your head. Like, this shit is fly. I ain't gonna say nothing. Now they got something that called, do you know this? This is old. You could go to the mall with your homeboy. Me and you could go to the mall, right? You could get a pair of Nikes, right? And we go steal something in the mall. I steal something. I get caught. You're going to be bound with that too. Because it's called aiding and abetting that I was with you. So we both going down. That's a new thing. It happened to somebody I know recently. Okay? So that can affect you too. So what Eli wasn't doing it, but his two sons was doing it. And later down the line, this whole thing for covering it up, judging partial. What happened? You can't judge partial. All right? None of us. If you enter this, be real. That's being real. Being real is like seeing your brother in jail because he's going to get caught. Eventually, his days are numbered for stealing. Just like your days are numbered for selling drugs. Just like your days are going to be numbered for doing drugs. Just like your days is going to be numbered for alcohol or drinking, overindulging in it. It's going to kill your liver. It might not get you right away, but overindulging, it will catch up to you. So stealing, robbing, lying, it's going to catch up to you. All right? Now, go to 1 Samuel chapter 2. We're going to start at verse 12. And we're going to read 12 to 36. And just for food of thought, just to add on, when you read verse 22, that it says that they laid with the women that assembled at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. These were dealing with mirrors, because at that time they had the mirrors. When you look up Exodus 38 verse 8, okay, it was dealing with mirrors and stuff like that. You look it up on your own. I ain't going to get into all that. Okay, so let's start at verse 12, and we're going to read verse 12 to 36. Yep. We're going to get into this.
Now the sons of Eli were the sons of Belial. They knew not of the Lord.
Stop. Let's meditate on this. Because I just read you what happened in 22. Eli was very old and heard all that his son was doing unto the Israel. Okay? And how they assembled, how they laid with the women that assembled at the door. Okay? Of the tabernacle of the congregation. And what did it says again? In verse 12?
The sons of Eli, of Belial, they knew not of the Lord.
Now, why did it say they knew not of the Lord? Wasn't it of the office? Wasn't it part of the priest's office? Okay, they were supposed to be part of the priest's office after their father, because their father was a priest. Okay, so wasn't they supposed to be? They were supposed to know the Lord, so they say. Okay, but according to this, they were worthless men. I'm gonna get Deuteronomy chapter 13 and 13. Hold that, I get that. Deuteronomy chapter 13, verse 13. Because it said that what they were supposed to do at the office with the women, they were supposed to uphold the flock, but they were sleeping with the women. Now their father was a high priest, and they usually follow after that in the tabernacle of their father, but they were doing wicked stuff. So they were Belial. Belial means worthless men. Deuteronomy 13:13. So you got men today you can use that for, that they may know the Lord and study the Lord, but they're not really studying wholeheartedly because they're secretly doing wicked stuff. Okay, you can say with your mouth that you love the Lord, but with your action, and one of the actions is covering up for your brother. You know your brother committed murder. You know your brother raped somebody, another man's wife. Okay, but you covered up for him. Okay, you're not supposed to be part of those things. Okay, you're supposed to be an example, especially you leading a flock of people in righteousness. Deuteronomy 13:13. And it says, certain men, the children of Belial, are gone out from among you, and have withdrawn inhabitants of their city, saying, check this out, let us go and serve other gods, which you have not known. Now this is similar, but it's in a different aspect, but it's still the same thing, because they went into enticing of things of the lust, and not enticing the thing upon the Lord. Because if they was enticing the things upon the Lord, meaning studying it and grasping into that like a coral around their neck, okay, they would have been like, okay, this is wrong what we're doing. We're not supposed to be looking at their women. We're not supposed to be stealing off the top, because this is the Lord's house. Will a man rob God? Okay. And then it says, let us serve other gods which we have not known. Let us serve gods we have not known. Okay? After the heathens. Okay? And then it says, then shall thou inquire and make search and ask diligently. And behold, if the truth and the thing certain that such abomination is wrong among you, thou shalt surely smite the inhabitants of the city with the edge of the sword, destroying it utterly, and all that is therein, and the cattle thereof with the edge of the sword. Kill it, burn it, smite it, get rid of it, so it don't pollute the people around you, so they don't pick up those bad traits. Okay, go ahead, continue reading. Back to 1 Samuel. 1 Samuel chapter 2.